Yep, so I'm going to give you a presentation on an introduction to forensic science. So this session is going to be a very basic session where I would be talking about forensic science and a little bit about forensic analysis and how we got into a stage where we could use forensic science in court. So an overview of this session, as I said, I'll be giving you guys a little bit of an introduction to forensic science. And the second part of the session would cover multiple disciplines of forensic science and how forensic science developed into what we see right now. And then the third and final part of this presentation would be about career options if you get a forensic degree or like a master's in forensic science, or if you are a lawyer. So I have divided the session into all these three categories. So as I said, what is forensic science? So forensic science, there are multiple definitions for forensic science. You could it is a very broad topic, and you could not just add in every information to a single definition. So if you go into any website or if you go into any book, you could see multiple definitions for forensic science. So I have picked a few definitions here, which are different in wordings, but it will give the same essence outside. So the first definition can be the application of scientific principles and techniques to matters of criminal justice. So it can be either civil law, or it can be criminal law, or it can be any crime. So we apply the principles of science to solve a crime or to establish link between a crime scene, victim, and a suspect or perpetrator. So the second definition is also similar. It is like resolving legal issues by applying scientific principles. So it can be, again, either civil disputes, civil or criminal legal issues. And another definition is also giving us the same essence. So that is scientific analysis of evidences for legal proceedings. So in total, like a nutshell, we could say forensic science is application of science and knowledge of science, or principles and techniques of science in solving crimes. So it's a very basic and a broad definition. So what is a crime triangle? So like we were talking about the definition of forensic science, and I was saying, so forensic science is used to help prove a crime in the court, or applying the scientific knowledge in criminal justice system. So a crime triangle, so there are three main elements in a crime. So first element, or uh, the major elements of crime triangle would be offender, location or the crime scene, and the third one is target or the victim. So how is this related to forensic science? So how do we link an offender, crime scene, and a victim to a crime? So it's through evidences, right? So analysis of evidences using scientific principle to establish link between the elements of a crime triangle is the main purpose, or main motive of forensic science. So I hope I'm clear. If there is any doubt, please do ask me at the end of the session. Then we are going to talk about, so forensic science, as I said, is a broad topic. So we have broken down forensic science into multiple disciplines for the ease of getting expertise on one or the other discipline. And we have divided, like we divide science into physics, chemistry, biology, and physics, chemistry, and biology having multiple subdisciplines. Forensic science is also divided into multiple disciplines and subdisciplines. So these are the main disciplines of forensic science that we are going to discuss today. So as I was saying, this is not, forensic science is a broad topic, and this is not the only disciplines that come under forensic science. We have a lot more, but these
Um,
are,
Hello, ma'am.
yes,
Ma'am, sorry for the interruption, but are you
sure, sure.
changing the presentation? I mean, I can't see any changes in the slide, or is it just mine?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Are you not able to see any changes?
okay, ma'am. Now it's all right.
Is it okay now? What are you seeing now?
Yeah, ma'am.
Sorry.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's all right now. Earlier, it was a bit stuck in between.
Oh, okay. Sorry for that. I don't know. Maybe some network issues. So is it okay now?
Yeah, ma'am. Now it's perfect.
Okay. So, yeah. So these are the main disciplines that we are going to discuss today. And those are forensic chemistry, physical evidence, forensic biology, and fingerprint examination, document examination, and digital forensic science. All these disciplines are things that you see on like news channels and medias every day when they talk about a crime and evidences. So these are very common disciplines of forensic science that we come across every day. And first discipline is forensic chemistry. So, like I said, forensic science is application of science and technology, or science and its knowledge in criminal justice. We would say forensic chemistry is application of knowledge of chemistry in solving a crime. So, forensic chemistry has multiple subdisciplines. We could say it's not just one thing, it has multiple subdisciplines, and those are forensic toxicology, where which is the analysis of biological samples for the presence of any toxins. This includes drugs, but drugs is another vast and broad topic, because there are multiple drug cases and drug usage, drug dosage, illicit drug trafficking, everything going on in this present scenario. So we have drugs, and there is arson and explosives also. So what is arson? Arson is like intentionally setting uh, fire to a building or a place or anything is called as arson. So there are accidental fire happening, and there is arson, which is deliberate, and also explosives. So let's assume a case scenario that you're going to a crime scene. And like the crime scene is maybe a kitchen, and you happen to see a white powder on the floor. So we will, in science, we don't assume anything, right? So we can't just say that it is okay, it's in the kitchen and it is a white powder, so it might be cooking salt. So there, we collect the sample, we take it to a laboratory, and we use organic and inorganic analysis techniques that will come under chemistry to establish what that powder is. It might be just cooking salt, but in court, you can't just go and be like, okay, I got a white powder from a crime scene and it is going to be salt. No. So you need a proper evidence, proper analysis, and proper proof to prove that in the court that the white powder that you found on the kitchen counter during a crime scene investigation is salt, cooking salt. So same way, it can be methamphetamine, it can be any white powder, it can be explosive, it can be any other chemicals. So there you apply your knowledge of chemistry, your organic analysis. If you've studied science in your 11th and 12th, you might have done anion and cation analysis, where you find the anion, where you find the cation, and you prove that this is sodium and that is chlorine, and that's how you make it sodium chloride. So applying that knowledge of organic and inorganic chemistry in proving uh, a crime, or helping to establish link between the crime scene victim and a perpetrator, is forensic chemistry. So next discipline, which is very important discipline, is physical evidence. So physical evidence is like as the name suggests, is just physically present on a crime scene. So any evidence that is physically present, an object that is physically present on a crime scene, in a broader sense, you can say it's not a proper definition, but a physical evidence can be anything that is present on a crime scene, like physically present on a crime scene. And there are multiple subdisciplines, and there are multiple evidences under physical evidence. And the uh, major three classes, I would say, is trace evidence is like glass fragments, fiber, soil, and then there will be, if there is a burglary or if there is a murder or something, and a person has opened a door with a tool, and there will be a tool mark on the door, so that is considered as a tool mark impression. And fingerprint will come under physical evidence because of its importance, and its a unique characteristic. We study fingerprint as a very different, important, significant forensic evidence branch. So I've not included that here, but toll marks and other impressions, firearms and ammunitions. Nowadays, gun violence, we hear that people got dead during a firearm, like a a firing, or like a school kids having guns with them. Gun violence is very prominent in this society. So studying firearms and ammunition and collecting evidences by analyzing firearms and ammunition is of high significance in forensic science. So these are major evidence types that we deal under physical evidence. And then the next discipline is forensic biology, which I work for. So forensic biology. So on initial days, we started off with forensic serology. So forensic biology is again a broad discipline which has multiple subdisciplines under it. So initial days, it was forensic serology. So if you have seen movies, or like old Malayalam movies or any other language movies, you can see people saying, okay, there is a blood stain, so this is A positive blood, this is B positive blood. So initially, they used all these biological fluid identification methods to establish a crime. So they used to say, okay, there is a presence of blood, there is presence of semen, by doing series of presumptive and conclusive tests and all these body fluids to say that a crime happened. But a major limitation of these body fluids or blood grouping techniques were, you couldn't link that to a particular person. You could only say that, okay, this is an A positive blood stain. So you could actually narrow down your list to a few people, like list of suspects to a few people, but you couldn't actually identify a single perpetrator or suspect or a perpetrator with body fluid identification. So it was a method used to identify body fluids and establish crime, but not to individualize people. So nowadays, we have DNA profiling, which is very advanced, which started off at 1986 by Sir Alex Jeffrey, but now DNA profiling is most prominently used all over the world, and it is a major tool to link a person or individualize, identify a perpetrator based on the profile that you extract from a crime scene. So we could say DNA in simple terms is genetic information, a molecule that carries genetic information. But there is also one limitation of DNA is DNA, but among identical twins, their genetic profile would be same among identical twins. They'll have similar DNA profiling, and there are other techniques to differentiate identical twins that I'll come later. But now, in terms of DNA profiling, identical twins share same genetic information. So we could say all these DNA and RNA extraction or DNA extraction and profiling techniques can be, in a broader sense, we can define it as linking various types of biological materials to a person with the help of antigens, enzymes, and proteins that is there in our body fluids or biological samples. So you can get DNA from saliva, you can get DNA from blood, you can get DNA from bone, you can get DNA from hair follicle, you can get DNA from even fingerprints, that is called touch DNA. And
Ma'am, excuse me,
yes,
ma'am.
please. Yeah.
Ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt you again, but the slide is
Yeah.
stuck at disciplines, the various disciplines of forensic science.
Oh, is it? I'm not sure what's happening.
Okay, okay. Now it has moved on to forensic biology. Till now, it
I
is
think I'll
stuck
just
at
keep
the.
it like that.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Is it okay now? Can you guys see?
Yeah, now it's at forensic biology.
Oh, yep, sure.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, no problem. Please do let me know immediately if it is going wrong. I mean,
Oh,
it's not moving.
okay,
Yeah.
sure, ma'am. Sure,
Yep.
ma'am.
Okay. So, so I hope it's clear. Like forensic biology, everyone was able to follow what I said. And now, next one.